Hey everyone, I'm Mary Beth McAndrews from Dread Central, and I am here today with Art the Clown himself, David Howard Thornton. Hello, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm great. It's very weird to see you without the makeup, I will say.
I know I probably look a little bit different than most people would anticipate.
You look like a nice person. Like you just look like a nice person.
Yeah, that's how I lure people in.
So I'm curious, how long have you been playing Art the Clown?
Gosh, since 2015, so 7 years now, which is kind of
Oh,
crazy to think.
wow. So before we talk about Terrifier 2, how did you get kind of brought into Terrifier and get to become this iconic horror character?
Very simple. I just auditioned to a casting notice on Actors Access looking for a tall, skinny guy with physical comedy or clowning experience to play Art. And it
Oh,
just worked.
sweet. So you
Yeah.
have actual clowning experience.
I wouldn't say real clowning experience, but more physical comedy because I did a lot of children's theater and all that kind of stuff for
Oh,
years. And
cool. I
yeah,
grew up doing theater too, so it's always
oh
cool
yeah,
to.
I'm a theater brat.
Oh, that's so cool. So I'm curious, like when you're develop art has some obviously very signature movements and
Mhm.
ticks and actions. So how did you develop his physicality? Because you don't have dialogue. He's all physical action and you rely so much on that and you're
Mhm.
incredibly talented at it. So what is
Thank
it
you.
like developing those kind of quirks for art?
Well, I mean, that's one thing I definitely wanted to add more to the character than what Mike Gianelli, who was the original art, did with it. I wanted to add more of that clowning aspect, and so I have a long appreciation for great silent film actors and comedians
Oh,
and great
cool.
physical comedians. So I just basically tapped in my data bank that's in my head from like all the way from Chaplin to Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, and also my good friend Stephen Carl, who was Robbie Rotten on the show Lazy Town. I was his understudy for 5 years with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. So I took a lot of what I learned from Stephen and put it into art.
Wait, the guy from Lazy Town.
Yes,
Yeah. What? Sorry, that
yes.
was just like, wow. Wait, that's so cool. I was scared. I was
Yeah.
like, what horror movie people? But it sounds like a lot of the acting is actually influenced by like comedians, which I think is so
Oh,
cool.
yeah. But of course, there's other people as well. I took a lot of inspiration from the great horror actors too. Especially Robert Englund and of course Kane Hodder and all the different Mike Myers and all that good stuff. So there was a lot of I just kind of blended all that together and out
Yeah,
came art.
that's awesome. So I is it hard to play art like emotionally and mentally? I'm just because I know I'm just curious about like you play this really fucked up character to put it one
Yeah.
way. And I know that it's fake and all that, but is it kind of difficult to kind of occupy the headspace of art, or is it more of a fun exercise, or is it
I,
both?
I would say it's pretty simple. Like once I finally understood the character, I could easily, slip him on and off. So I mean,
Oh,
it's to me that's how I've always been as an actor. Because as a stage actor, I would sometimes do shows where I'd play multiple characters. So I had to be able to quickly switch between characters. So as soon as I understand the character, I can become the character. So it really doesn't do anything to me mentally, except it's made me a
cool.
little bit more creative in life when people upset me and stuff like that. I'm like, I wonder how I could turn this into a kill.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't actually do it, but I'm like, I bet this could become a fun kill sometime.
I talked to Damien yesterday and I'm just like, the creativity behind the kills is like, how did that,
Oh yeah,
it's wild. And I'm glad to hear that it rubs off on you because some of
oh
it
yeah,
is just absolutely gnarly to
oh
see.
yeah.
And as a horror
We
fan,
message each other back and forth too when we think of something funny or like a crazy kill or something like that. We're like, hey, how about this for something maybe in a possible film? And you know, who knows what becomes of it.
have any of your ideas ever made it into one of the Terrifier films yet?
Like kill wise, I can't really remember because there's just been so much back and forth between the two of us. But I mean,
Cool.
I would say it's primarily his ideas. I might have like, well, hey, why don't we tweak this here or there? But I would say 90% of the kill ideas are his ideas,
Cool.
even
And
95%.
but you get to bring them to creepy life,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
just as good. So, okay, you have not as much clowning experience but physical comedy experience. But what do you think makes clowns so scary? Like, why do you think we're all so fucking scared of clowns?
I think it's because they walk that line right there at the uncanny valley, where everything, there's very human-like, but there's something extra to them. They're a little bit more exaggerated, and so that kind of throws people off, especially the looks of them and their movements.
Yeah, and look wise, how long does it take for you to get all of the makeup on and the costuming for art? It looks it's deceptively simple, I feel like.
It has become deceptively simple. Originally it took about 4 hours plus, and we've gotten it down to about an hour and a half now.
Cool.
Depending on how much battle damage I have to have on me, because we've been experimenting over 2 films, with the makeup and everything, trying to get it more fine-tuned, because Damien and I hate arriving hours before everybody else, because we like to sleep too. So we're trying to make it as fast as possible.
Very fair. So how excited were you when you got to come back as art for Terrifier 2?
Oh God, stoked. Because I'm like, I mean, when I read the script, back in early 2019, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to do this again. Because like what Damien has done with this script, it just exploded things. It's like, it's the first film on steroids. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. Because he wrote a lot of really fun scenes for art, which we kind of built upon, like just him just messing around with people, like we did in the first film, because that's more my style. I like to be in like real world situations, and it's fun kind of putting art in those kind of situations that you wouldn't normally see a slasher icon in. And so I was excited to do that kind of stuff. There's a lot of room for me to play around in part 2 than there was in part 1. So I was very stoked.
I feel like you're a little bit funnier. I feel like you get to have a little bit more fun. Like there's like the part in the Halloween costume store with the glasses and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Especially was very
I definitely see him being a lot more cocky and arrogant this time around, since he knows he can come back from the dead and he's hard to kill. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to have more fun with all this. It's like, yeah, I got all this power now. Might as well have fun with it.
Yeah. So without giving any spoilers, what was kind of the most fun scene for you to film as art?
Oh gosh, I would say probably the costume shop scene was a lot of fun.
Okay.
There's also the clown cafe, as everybody sees. That was a lot of fun as well.
I was gonna say that one seemed like a lot of weird, like wacky fun, just very different than what we've seen in.
I mean, I got to use a flamethrower, so that was kind of cool. Like,
how was that? What was that like?
That was awesome. That was awesome. There were some other toys I got to use in that scene too, but I don't want to spoil anything. But oh my God, I was like a kid on set that day. I was having so much fun.
So you have a lot of fun playing art, right? Like you find it like a really fun exercise as an actor.
Oh yes, very much so.
So what do you think is the most fun part about playing art for you?
I think it's just that mischievous side of him. It's just he's so demented, but he has fun with what he does, and I think that's why I have fun with him as well.
Cool. And do people recognize you without the makeup as art?
Not really, unless they are really familiar with me in general. But like, it's kind of nice because I had that kind of Doug Jones like anonymity when I go out in public.
Because there's so many big fans. I was curious about seeing all the fans and how much people love art specifically, and the art that is out there of art, and what that has been like to see this fandom grow for not just the movie but your character in particular.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I can't complain. It's pretty surreal too when you see people with tattoos of you.
Yeah, that's gotta be like really like very like throw you off a little bit. Like, oh, that's my face on your skin forever.
Yeah, you're gonna have that forever? Wow. I mean, I don't even want my face forever.
that. Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
But going back before Terrifier, have you always been a horror fan?
I was a little bit late to the game. Because my mom was afraid of horror films, and so I didn't watch a lot of them growing up until like my senior year in high school, and then that's when I became a horror fan when I went to college the next year and didn't have to worry about parental units going, oh no, I don't want you having that in the house. So yeah, I had a lot of fun in catching up on all that kind of stuff in college. And so I've been a fan since.
That's amazing. What do you remember what your first horror movie was?
Poltergeist when I was a little kid.
Me too.
Yeah.
What Poltergeist was one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
couldn't look at my closet the same way for many, many years.
Yeah. Yeah. My mom used that to scare me, like get me to stay away from being in front of the TV and blocking the TV. She would tell me I would get sucked into it like a little girl. So I believed it for a long time.
Parents, man, the
Yeah.
lengths they'll go to scare, and it works.
Yeah.
And then I'm curious, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Showgirls.
Ooh.
That's a Scream 2 reference there for you. Yeah, but I think the one that really freaked me out a lot back in the day was either The Exorcist or The Omen.
Always that. Did you grow up Catholic?
No, but I grew up Methodist, so we're Catholic light.
Okay, yeah. I grew up Catholic, so I like those movies are always like at the top of like.
Yeah.
I'm not Catholic anymore, but when I was younger, that was used to scare me. That was used to scare me and hold over the presence of God.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like demons, all that kind of stuff used to scare the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah. And so what are you most excited for audience to see in this new chapter for Art the Clown?
I'm excited for them to see our new female lead, our kick-ass protagonist, Sienna. I think everybody's going to fall in love with her. That's who I'm excited for.
Hell yeah. It wasn't like working with her because she is a badass.
Oh, she's awesome. Lauren's the best. I'm like, we lucked out on casting her because I'm like, we instantly hit it off. We went out to lunch right after she was cast. And, because I was like, okay, our fates are going to be intertwined now for basically the rest of our lives. So we might as well get to be good friends now before we go into this gauntlet of filming. And we hit it off, and she's awesome. And she's incredible on screen. She upped my game. So I can't wait for everybody to see this kick-ass, female lead.
That's awesome. And I was going to ask about your relationship off screen, because obviously you are against each other in this movie, but it sounds like you guys had a pretty good relationship.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The cameras were off.
Oh, yeah. All of us are. It's like the whole entire team. We're all really close at everything like that. So that's kind of cool, So, yeah, I might do horrible things to you on screen, but I'll be your buddy in real life.
And if Art the Clown was to come back, what would you want to see from your perspective for Art if a third movie is on the horizon?
I want to see him do a huge mass kill. That's what I would like to see. Him just put like Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers and all those guys' body counts to shame and just one huge kill.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And with that, on that incredible note, thank you so much, David, for talking to me about Terrifier 2, and Art the Clown. It was a pleasure.
Oh, pleasure was mine. Thank you.